Superintendent's recommendations and reports.
Thank you, Mr. Begley. At this time, I'd like to ask Mrs. Howard to cover the items listed under Personnel Professional and Personnel Support.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Begley and members of the board, I have several items for your consideration this evening. Under Personnel Professional, number 1, resignations, letters A and B. Number 2, unpaid leaves of absence, letters A and B. And number 3, employment, letters A through M. I would like to bring special attention to letter A under employment. Mrs. Brooke Cox, who is here with us this evening. If you want to wave, Brooks, we can know who you are. She is our recommended candidate for the assistant principal position at Central Elementary School. She will be replacing Mr. Jay Bauer, who was recently announced as the next assistant principal at Fairfield Creekside Middle School. Brooke currently serves as an elementary teacher in the Milford Exempted Village School District and has been in that position since 2013. In her role at Milford, she has served as a teacher leader in the building, and as a result, she's had the opportunity to lead in several areas. So those experiences include, but are definitely not limited to, serving on the district's COVID planning team, which hopefully we will not need her expertise on that in the future, serving on the district's strategic planning committee, along with writing and obtaining various grants for STEAM-related projects. In addition, she didn't mention this in her interview, and I think it speaks to her humble nature. She was awarded Teacher of the Year for the 2018-19 school year. So we believe that these experiences will serve her very well as she makes the transition into being the next assistant principal at Central Elementary, and we are very excited to recommend her to you this evening. That concludes all the items I have for your consideration under Personnel Professional.
Thank you, Mrs. Howard. I'll entertain a motion to accept those recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Clark and Mrs. Gundrum, any other questions? Mrs. Lane, call the roll, please.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mrs. Gundrum?
Yes.
Mrs. Shorter?
Yes.
Ms. Birding?
Yes.
Mr. Begley?
Yes. Mrs. Cox, congratulations and welcome to Fairfield City School District.
Mr. Begley and members of the board, I have several items for your consideration this evening under Personnel Support. Number 1, unpaid leave of absence, letter A. Number 2, employment, letters A and B. And number 3, correction, letter A. That concludes all the items I have for your consideration tonight under Personnel Support.
Thank you, Mrs. Howard. I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, boy. We'll go Miss Birding and Mrs. Shorter. How's that? Mrs. Lane, call the roll, please.
Ms. Birding?
Yes.
Mrs. Shorter?
Yes.
Mrs. Gundrum?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Begley?
Yes.